Some people say that aliens are demons, but you distinguish them.
Yes, yes. Now there's an overlap between the two. For example, demons can change form to some degree. Okay, they can project themselves. They can a lot of times people will see an alien, or not an alien, but a demon, and it might be projecting some sort of a human face, but the rest of it's like a dark humanoid shape. Okay, it's because it doesn't have enough energy to completely change into the appearance of a human. Aliens, on the other hand, like if you look at all the behaviors that have been supposedly described of reptilian type aliens, you know, the sexual sadism, you know, the torturing, just the energy feeding, all those behaviors are pretty much identical to what demons do. Now, does it mean that aliens are demons? No, it just means that these reptilians are most likely biologically engineered, they're genetically engineered biological hosts for demonic energies. That's what I think a lot of reptilians are. I think they're just genetically engineered beings that have demonic souls in them. And they're created as a form of like shock troopers, you know, like yeah, I guess shock troopers would be the best thing, like henchmen, you know, like physically strong, intimidating, you know, violent, aggressive type things that serve an even higher level, like deeper level alien hierarchy. You know, so that's what I think reptilians are. They're just physical bodies that have demonic souls in them. And at the same time, you can also have demons that can project the appearance of an alien. Partly, I mean, they're not very good at it, but they can do it. And the reason they would do that is if a person believes in aliens or believes in the whole like science fiction type, you know, belief system, then in order for them to be manipulated, obviously the demon can't come to them in the appearance of, I don't know, Jesus or some sort of holy figure, because the person isn't religious, but they do believe in aliens. They do believe in science. So if the demon can appear as an alien to that person, then the person's like, oh yeah, it's an alien. He's contacting me. And usually what happens in those cases is that the incoming demon will ask the person for permission to enter. And the person will say yes. And then at that point, over the next couple weeks, they'll notice that, you know, this dark, shadowy figure will, you know, go through their body over and over again and start attaching more and more to their you know, head area, to their, you know, their chakras going up and down the chest, things like that. And then the person will start having hallucinations, like externally projected dreams that might be of very complicated alien scenarios. For example, like they might be in their bed. Meanwhile, the demon is jacking into their brain and giving them a guided dream of them, let's say, being on a spaceship on the dark side of the moon, fighting an alien war. And the demon will give that person all kinds of crazy ideas about what's actually going on, about how there's, you know, this type of alien and that type of alien, and you got these green frog aliens fighting against the bird aliens. But it's all made up, you know, it's all BS, right? But the person over the next couple of years becomes an expert in this false, made up viewpoint that the demon is feeding them. And then eventually they go on the internet, get a YouTube channel, go on, you know, radio interviews, and they talk about, oh yeah, you know, there's the Frogians are fighting the Birdians, and that's what's really going on. And all they're doing is adding confusion and noise. Okay. Now, if they're very successful, though, they'll get a following, and they'll become a guru, like a cult leader. And then what happens then, of course, now the demon is controlling a host who is controlling, you know, a couple dozen people that are sitting around them, and the demon is feeding upon their energy for years and years and years, you know, by telling them BS and telling them, you know, prophecies about what's going to happen that don't actually end up coming true, but the people hang on every word, you know, and they have fear and doom and giving off all this fear energy, and the demon feeds off that. And there are, I don't know how many there are, but I would say there are dozens and dozens and dozens of groups out there right now that exemplify that particular pattern. And that's something that can happen. Okay. But anyone, okay, so going back to your original question, anyone who has experience with both aliens and demons, you will recognize there are differences between them. There are subtle nuances that each one has that are unique to each of them. Okay. But if you don't have that experience, you're just kind of looking at it from the outside, sure, I mean, it would seem that, okay, well, these 2 points here line up, so therefore aliens are demons or demons are aliens. But it's actually not that simple. If you actually like take a microscope to it, if you take a magnifying glass and you look into the details of each case, you can tell that there are separate classes of beings, but they do, you know, somewhat overlap in the middle, you know, in the case of demons looking like aliens somewhat, and reptilians having demons inside of them that are controlling them, which isn't that far-fetched, considering that even humans, like serial killers, oftentimes they'll mention, you know, having voices in their head, you know, pressuring them to like kill their victims. How they're actually possessed by demons. I mean, a lot of serial killers will admit to being possessed by demons. Okay, so even amongst humans, you can have humans that are being occupied by demons, and I don't think aliens are an exception either. I think, you know, like reptilians might be intentionally designed to play that role.